Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Magic News with Magic Ridge. I'm your host, Ridge. Nice to meet you. And today we are continuing the spoilers/previews for Innistrad Midnight Hunt. I apologize, I'm a little tardy, been under the weather. We are getting better. But we must go on. So, I've downloaded around 70 or 80 of the spoilers that I've yet to go over. There's still another big batch to go. Hopefully I can crank it out this weekend and then get to the Commander decks. They usually print around 17 new cards in the Commander decks I've yet to see. So, first up we've got Voldaren Ambusher for 2 mana of any color and a mountain, 3 CC for a creature type vampire archer. This archer is a 2/2, and when Voldaren Ambusher enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, it deals X damage to up to one target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of vampires you control. Alright, next up we've got Immolation for 1 mountain, 1 CC. We have an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/-2. Can be a buff, can be a kill. Alright, next up we've got Purifying Dragon for 3 mana of any color and mountain, 5 CC for a creature type dragon. This dragon is a 4/3, has a little bit of that extra front action. It flies, of course, as most dragons do. And whenever Purifying Dragon attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. If that creature is a zombie, Purifying Dragon deals 2 damage to it instead. So this dragon hates zombies. Moving right along, we have Corpse Cobble for a Island Swamp, 2 CC, instant speed. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice any number of creatures. Create an XX blue and black zombie creature token with Menace, where X is the total power of the sacrificed creatures. Also has Flashback for 3 mana of any color and a blue and black mana, 5 mana in total. Keeping this train going, we've got Defend the Celeus. I don't know what that is. For 2 mana of any color and Forest. 4 CC, instant speed, distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures you control. Very nice. Moving along, we have Turn the Earth for 1 Forest. 1 CC, instant speed, choose up to 3 target creature cards in graveyards. The owners of those cards shuffle them into their libraries, you gain 2 life, and has a flashback of 1 colorless mana and a forest, so flashback is 2 CC. Next up, we've got Augur of Ottoman for 1 mana of any color and forest. 3 CC, we have a creature type human druid. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play lands from the top of your library. Alright? And it has Coven. As long as you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. And if I did not mention, this feller is a 2/3. He's got a bit of a bank on him. Next up, we've got Intrepid Adversary. Not adversary. For 1 mana of any color and a plains, 2 CC, we have a creature human scout of the mythic variety. This scout is a 3/1, has a little bit of that front action, if you know what I'm talking about. Looks like they're weaponry. Has lifelink. When Intrepid Adversary, I don't know why I can't say that right, enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 mana of any color and a plains, so 2 mana in total, any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many Valor counters on Intrepid Adversary. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each Valor counter on Intrepid Adversary. Okay, so it looks like this guy is a low CC life linking, kind of like a white lord, if that makes sense. Alright, moving along, we have our first MDMFC. I don't know if that's what they're calling these. Maybe they're not MDMFCs. They're night and day cards, I guess. So the flippy boys. We've got Covetous Castaway. For 1 mana of any color in an island, 2 CC, we have a creature type human. This human is a 1/3, has a bit of a bank on him, although I don't see it. When Covetous Castaway dies, mill 3 cards. It also has Disturb for 3 mana of any color and Island. Its Disturb cost is 5 mana. In total, you may cast this card from your graveyard transformed for its Disturbed cost. And the other side of him is called Ghostly Castigator. Castigator? Yeah, Ghostly Castigator. It is a creature type spirit of a 3/4, still has a bit of a bank on him. It flies, and when Ghostly Castigator enters the battlefield, you may shuffle up to 3 target cards from your graveyard into your library. If Ghostly Castigator would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Alrighty then, next up, this one looks pretty decent. We've got Patrician Geis. For 2 mana of any color in an island, 3 CC for a creature type Spirit Knight. This Spirit Knight is a 2/2. It flies, and other spirits you control get +1/+1. So we've got a blue Spirit Lord. Also, spells you cast from your graveyard cost 1 of any color mana, or colorless mana, less to cast. Pretty cool. I'm going to check out the flavor on this guy. So he rides an agitated circles, snapping orders at servants who long since found their peace. Nice. Moving along, we have Celestus. Once again, this word I cannot pronounce. A Celestus Sanctifier. For 2 mana of any color and a plains, 3 CC, we have a creature type Human Cleric. This cleric is a 3/2. I forget what they call those little dangly, smoky things that I think back in the day they also used as weapons to beat people who weren't, acting right or something in the church or something like that. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. I also agree with that behavior. Pay attention. Alright, anyway, if it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as Celestus Sanctifier enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your graveyard. Okay, next up we've got Candle Grove Witch. For 1 mana of any color and a plains, 2 CC, we have a creature type Human Warlock. So excited for the new Warlock creature type. Pretty hyped on that. This Warlock is a 2/2, and it has Coven. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, Candle Grove Witch gains flying until end of turn. Okay. Next up, we've got Sungold Barrage. I think. For 2 mana of any color and a plains, 3 CC, instant speed, destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. So if you got a big bank, you're going down. Next up, we've got Ritual Guardian. For 2 mana of any color in a plains, 3 CC, creature type Human Soldier. This soldier is a 3/2. He's a little bit of that extra front action. That's probably that great sword. Or whatever that is. I forgot. What are those called? They're not halberds. What are the long swords? I'm just going to say great sword, but I'm not sure. I don't think that's right. Next up, we've got, it says Coven on it. It's got Coven, so at the beginning of combat, on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, Ritual Guardian gains lifelink until end of turn. Okay, like the artwork on this one, we've got Hedgewitch's Mask for 1 plains. 1 CC, artifact equipment, equipped creature gets +1/+1. Equipped creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 4 or greater, and has an equip cost of 2 mana. Okay, next up we've got Tainted Adversary. For 1 mana of any color in a swamp, 2 CC, we have a creature type Zombie. This zombie is a 2/3. He has a bit of a bank, although I can see his ribcage. He also has Death Touch. And when Tainted Adversary enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 mana of any color in a swamp, so 3 mana in total, any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on Tainted Adversary, then create twice that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with Decayed. I'm not going to go over Decayed. No, I lied. I'm a liar, guys. We will go over Decayed because I haven't went over it in this video. So, a creature with Decayed can't block. And when it attacks, you have to sacrifice it at the end of combat. So I believe if you don't use it to attack with, obviously you can't block, but if you don't attack with it, you don't have to sacrifice it. But once you do, sack it at the end of combat. Next up, we've got Burly Breaker for 3 mana of any color and Forest, 5 CC. Creature type Human Werewolf. This werewolf has Ward 1. It's generic 1 mana. And it is a 6/5, has a little bit of that extra front action, and has Daybound. So if a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. Flip side is Dire Strain Demolisher. It is a creature type werewolf. This werewolf has Ward 3 for 3 generic mana. It is an 8/7. Again, it has a little bit of that extra front action. I wouldn't be one to caught lacking around this guy. And it has Nightbound as well, so if a player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn, it becomes day next turn. Okie dokie then. Next up, we've got Covert Cutpurse for 2 mana of any color and a swamp. It's a creature type Human Rogue. This rogue is a 2/1, has a little bit of that extra front action. It's packing. When Covert Cutpurse enters the battlefield, destroy target creature you don't control that was dealt damage this turn. It also has Disturb for 4 mana of any color and a swamp, so 5 CC in total, or 5 mana. You may cast this card from your graveyard, transformed for its disturbed cost. And the night side is Covetous Geist. It is a creature type Spirit Rogue. It is a 2/2 with flying and death touch. If Covetous Geist would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Nice, I like that one. Next up, we've got Nebelgast Intruder for 2 mana of any color and an island, 3 CC. We have a creature type Spirit that is a 2/1. He has Flash and Flying. When Nebelgast Intruder enters the battlefield, up to 1 target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-0 until end of turn. No flippy nonsense with that guy. Moving along, we have a Mysterious Tome for 2 mana of any color and an island, 3 CC. For an artifact, you may pay 2 mana of any color and tap this artifact to draw a card. Transform Mysterious Tome. And the night side of the Mysterious Tome is called Chilling Chronicle. It is also an artifact. You can pay 1 mana and tap this artifact to tap target non-land permanent. And then, once again, transform Chilling Chronicle. I'm guessing back to the day version. Moving along, we have Grafted Identity for 2 mana of any color and island, 4 CC. For Enchant Aura. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, enchant creature, you control enchanted creature, and enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Okay. Pretty cool. Next up, we've got a dragon. We've got Moonveil Regent for 3 mana of any color and a mountain, 4 CC. That's pretty decent, pretty low CC for a dragon. It is a creature type dragon, as I mentioned. It's a 4/4 with flying. Whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each of that spell's colors. When Moonveil Regent dies, it deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Seems like it would be good in a 5-color Dragon EDH deck. Next up, we've got Spectral Adversary. Didn't I already do this one? I feel like I've already done this one. But I don't think I did. So, it costs 1 mana of any color and an island, 2 CC, creature type Spirit. It is a 2/1. It has a little bit of that extra front action. It's probably just that lantern. Has Flash, Flying, and when Spectral Adversary enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 mana of any color and an island, 2 CC or 2 mana, any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on a Spectral Adversary. And then up to that many times, up to that many other target artifacts, creatures, and or enchantments phase out. Alright. Okay. Sorry, I've got problems. Next up, we've got Chaplain of Alms for 1 CC of the Plains variety. It is a creature type human cleric. This cleric is a 1/1 with first strike, ward 1, which is a generic ward 1. And I haven't gone over ward yet either, so we'll do that. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays 1 mana of any color. Also has Disturb for 3 mana of any color and a plane, so 4 mana for its Disturb cost. Pretty much you play it from your graveyard. Transformed, I guess is the word. Okay, so the transformed side is, or night side, is going to be Shieldgeist. Very cool name, very cool card. Creature type Spirit Cleric. It is a 2/1, has a little bit of extra front action. It is a flying first strike. Each creature you control has ward 1. Very nice. And if Shieldgeist would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Very nice. Next up, we've got Loyal Griff for 2 mana of any color and a Plains 3 CC. We have a creature type Hippogriff. Haven't seen one of those in a minute. It is a 2/2 with flash and flying. When Loyal Hippogriff enters the battlefield, you may return another creature you control to its owner's hand. Either saving something or being able to use another ETB or something like that. Sounds pretty cool. Next up, we've got Briarbridge Tracker for 2 mana of any color and a forest. 3 CC for a creature type human scout. This scout is a 2/3. It's got a bit of a bottom. Has vigilance, and when Briarbridge Tracker enters the battlefield, investigate. Haven't gone over investigate yet, so we will indulge on that. Create a colorless clue artifact token with, you could pay 2 mana, sacrifice this artifact, and draw a card. 2 mana is generic, any color. And as long as you control a token, Briarbridge Tracker gets +2/+0. Alright. Next up, we are hungry for more, ladies and gentlemen. For 1 swamp and 1 mountain, 2 CC, sorcery speed. Create a 3/1 black and red vampire creature token with trample, lifelink, and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Also has flashback for 1 mana of any color and a swamp mountain, 3 mana for its flashback. I can see that being useful in vampire decks, possibly in the EDH variety, as long as, I don't know, is this Pioneer legal? I don't know about Pioneer, but definitely like limited. That's gonna be freaking awesome. Next up, we've got Borrowed Time. That's what I feel like I'm on right now. For 2 mana of any color and a Plains, 3 CC, enchantment. Whenever Borrowed Time enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Borrowed Time leaves the battlefield. Like it a lot. We need more of those. Next up, we've got Sunset Rivalry. Yeah. For 1 mana of any color and a Plains, 2 CC for a sorcery. If an opponent has more life than you, you gain 4 life. An opponent controls more creatures than you, create 2 1/1 white human creature tokens. If an opponent has more cards in hand than you, draw a card. Alright, not bad. No downside to this draw card. It is only 1 card, but no downside, really. Next up, this could be interesting. We have Vanquish the Honde for 6 mana of any color and plains. So 8 CC, sorcery speed. This spell costs 1 generic less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. And it does the destroy all creatures. So, destroys all creatures in white. Who would have thought? Next up, we've got Flare of Faith for 1 mana of any color and a Plains, 2 CC, instant speed. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's a human, instead it gets +3/+3 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Little human love there. Next up, we've got Startle for 1 mana of any color and an island, 2 CC, instant speed. Target creature gets -2/-0 until end of turn. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. We're not going to go over Decayed. And draw a card. Next up, we've got good old... I thought it said Stink Fingers, but it's called Old Stick Fingers. He costs X mana of any color and swamp forest, unknown CC. He is a legendary creature horror. He has unknown power and toughness as well, and when you cast this spell, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards. Put all creature cards revealed this way into your graveyard, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Old Stickfinger's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Pretty good. I mean, that's definitely going to be something that's viable, in my opinion, for sure. Will I build them? No, I don't do a lot of graveyard recursion stuff, but people are going to play that guy. Next up, we've got Necrosynthesis. It's not really a thing, I don't think, but Necrosynthesis for 1 mana of any color and a swamp, 2 CC, enchant aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And whenever enchanted creature dies, look at the top X cards of your library where X is its power. Put one of those cards in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That seems pretty decent. Oh, I think when I took that, I don't know. Apparently, there's something called Ghoul Grizzly. As a multicolored spell, is a 4/3. It looks like it's green-black from the looks of it. Has trample, enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature that died this turn. I apologize for that. I think it was just when I found it wasn't in English or something like that. Next up, we've got Root Coil Creeper for 1 forest and 1 island. 2 CC, we have a creature type plant horror of the green and blue variety. It is a 2/2. You could tap to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, or tap it to add 2 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to cast spells from your graveyard, alright? And you can pay an island and a forest, tap it, exile Root Coil Creeper, return target card with flashback you own from exile to your hand. That's pretty cool. I don't think we've had something that can get a flashback card from exile before, so that's pretty decent. I see you, Watsy. I see you, Watsy. Next up, we've got Dire Strain Rampage. For 1 mana of any color and a mountain forest. 3 CC, sorcery speed. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. If a land was destroyed this way, its controller may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Otherwise, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. This also has a flashback for 3 mana of any color and a mountain forest. So 5 CC or 5 mana in total for its flashback cost. Next up, we've got Adeline Resplendent Cathar for 1 mana of any color and Plains. 3 CC for a legendary creature, Human Knight. It has unknown power and 4 toughness. It has vigilance, and Adeline Resplendent Cathar's power is equal to the number of creatures you control. Whenever you attack for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Pretty cool. Wish I had my Knight deck still up and running, but it's not running at this point. Next up, we've got Ritual of Hope. For 1 mana of any color in a Plains, 2 CC, instant speed. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, and has Coven. If you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. So we have like an Anthem type, or I don't know, like a instant buff thing. I apologize, it's like almost midnight, but I definitely want to get this done. Next up, we have Siphon Insight. For an island swamp, 2 CC, instant speed. Look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's library, exile one of them face down, and put the other on the bottom of that library. You may look at and play the exiled card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were any mana of any color to cast that spell. And Siphon Insight has a flashback for 1 mana of any color and island swamp, so 3 mana in total for its flashback. And we are going to go to this guy. We have Ambitious Farmhand. for 1 mana of any color, and a Plains 2/CC creature type human peasant. This peasant is a 1/1, and when Ambitious Farmhand enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic Plains card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. A little bit of ramp and white going on there, pretty cool. And it also has Coven for 3 mana, 1 colorless, 2 white mana, 3 mana in total. Transform Ambitious Farmhand. Activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. The Knight side is called Seasoned Cathar. It is a creature type human knight. It is a 3/3 with lifelink. Definitely will be okay, I think, at least in limited. Next, we have Rise of the Ants for 4 mana of any color and Forest 6/CC. We have a sorcery that has create 2 3/3 green insect creature tokens. You gain 2 life and has the flashback cost of 6 mana of any color and Forest. So 8 mana in total. That is quite a bit. Next up, we have a pretty unique and awesome looking land. We have Hostile. Okay? It is a land. You could tap it to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, or you could tap 1 colorless mana and tap this, sacrifice a creature, put a soul counter on Hostile. Then if there are 3 or more soul counters on it, remove those counters, transform it, then untap it, activate only as a sorcery. And the Knight side is called Creeping In. It is an artifact creature horror construct. It is a 3/7. It's basically all bank. And whenever Creeping In attacks, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of creature cards exiled with Creeping In. That's pretty cool. And for 4 mana, you can phase out Creeping In. Probably one of my favorite cards from the set so far. That's just pretty freaking unique. I like it. I just like lands as well. Next up, we have a vampire. We got Bloodthirsty Adversary for 1 mana of any color and a Mountain 2/CC. We have a creature type vampire. This vampire is a 2/2 with haste. And when Bloodthirsty Adversary enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 mana of any color and a mountain, so 3 mana. Any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many 1/1 counters on Bloodthirsty Adversary. Then exile up to that many target instant and or sorcery cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard and copy them. You may cast any number of the copies without paying their mana cost. Bonkers. Like it. Next up, this one brings back some nostalgia because the Innistrad block Avacyn Restored, favorite set. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about Mask of Griselbrand. Luckily, I got to play with Griselbrand as my commander for the first, I think it was like month or two. It was only like maybe a max of like 2 months tops before he got banned. People were mind slavering me all the time and just paying all my life and instantly killing me. I didn't think it was like the best thing ever, but he did get banned. So what is the Mask of Griselbrand about? For 1 mana of any color and swamp, we have 3/CC for a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature has flying and lifelink, and whenever equipped creature dies, you may pay X life, where X is its power if you do draw X cards, and it has an equip cost of 3 mana, generic mana. Pretty freaking cool, man. Very nostalgic. Moving along, we have Dryad's Revival for 2 mana of any color and a forest, 3/CC, sorcery speed. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. It also has a flashback cost of 4 mana of any color and a forest. So 5 mana in total for its flashback. I apologize that I'm moving these along. Like I said, I've been under the weather. So I'm just trying to get this info out and get these videos released because I am technically behind. So I appreciate it if you're still here. I just apologize that I'm going a little fast. I usually do this every day when it comes out, but I was away and stuff like that, so I hadn't even thought about it. Next up, we've got good old Delver of Secrets for 1 mana of the island variety, 1/CC, creature, human, wizard. It is a 1/1, and at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If you may reveal that card, if it's an instant or sorcery card, is revealed this way, transform Delver of Secrets. Now, obviously, Delver of Secrets, I believe, is a reprint, so that's cool. Other side is called Insectile Aberration. It is a creature human insect. It is a 3/2, has a little bit of that extra front action, if you know what I'm talking about, and it flies. So good old Delver of Secrets. Next up, we've got Mystic Skull for 2 mana of any color, 2 CC artifact. You can pay 1 mana and tap this artifact to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, or you may pay 5 mana of any color and tap this artifact to transform Mystic Skull into Mystic Monstrosity. It is an artifact creature construct. It is a 5/6. It's got a little extra booty on it. And lands you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color. Alright, mediocre. Pretty decent. Next up, we've got Curse of Surveillance for 4 mana of any color in an island, 5 CC, enchantment or a curse, enchant player. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, any number of target players other than that player each draw cards equal to the number of curses attached to that player. I really do like this. I would hate to be cursed with it, so I would never use it personally because I think you're gonna, right? Because your opponent's going to draw an extra one. If you're playing with 3 people, one of your opponents is going to draw an extra card as well. I don't personally like to help out my opponents, so I wouldn't play it, but it's definitely interesting. Next up, we've got Sacred Fire for a Mountain Plains 2 CC, instant speed. Sacred Fire deals 2 damage to any target, and you gain 2 life, and has a flashback for 4 mana of any color and a Plains Mountain, so 6 mana in total for its flashback. That's a bit much, and it's not that great, not gonna lie. Next up, we've got Duel for Dominance for 1 mana of any color and a Forest 2 CC, instant speed. We've got Coven. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, put a +1/+1 counter on the chosen creature you control. Then the chosen creatures fight each other. So we got some fight action there. Moving right along, we've got Willowgeist for 1 forest, 1 CC, creature type Tree Folk Spirit. It is a 1/1 with trample. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Willowgeist. When Willowgeist dies, you gain life equal to its power. We got a little Tree Folk love there. That's kind of cool. Next we've got Sungold Sentinel for 1 mana of any color and a Plains 2 CC, creature type Human Soldier, 3/2, a little bit of that extra front action. Whenever Sungold Sentinel enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. A little graveyard hate, or it does something here in a minute. We'll see. It also has Coven for 1 mana of any color and a Plains, so 2 mana for its Coven. It says choose a color. Sungold Sentinel gains hexproof from that color until end of turn and can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn. Activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. Okay, I can dig it. Next up, we've got Odric's Outrider for 3 mana of any color and a Plains 4 CC for a creature type Human Knight. This Human Knight is a 2/4 and it is more than half bank. Whenever Odric's Outrider or another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Alrighty then. Next, Wake to Slaughter. 3 mana of any color and Swamp Mountain, 5 CC, sorcery speed, frickin' awesome artwork, if I do say so myself. Choose up to 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. An opponent chooses one of them. Return that card to your hand. Return the other to the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. And has a flashback for 4 mana of any color and Swamp Mountain. So 6 mana in total for its flashback cost. I'm tired of saying moving right along, but moving right along. We've got Overwhelmed Archivist for 2 mana of any color and an island, 3cc, creature type human wizard. This wizard is a 3/2. When Overwhelmed Archivist enters the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card, and it has Disturb for 3 mana of any color and an island. So 4 mana in total for its Disturb cost. We've gone over it. Basically, you can pay the Disturb cost from the graveyard and play it transformed, which is also the night version. The night version is Archive Haunt, is a creature type spirit wizard, is a 2/1 with flying, and whenever Archive Haunt attacks, draw a card, then discard a card. If Archive Haunt would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Next up, we've got Dawnheart Mentor for 2 mana of any color and a forest, 3cc, creature type human warlock. It is a 0/4. It is nothing but ass. And whenever Dawnheart Mentor enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Also has Coven for 5 mana of any color and a forest, so 6 mana for its Coven. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains Trample until end of turn. Activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. Next, we've got Brood Weaver for 3 mana of any color and a forest, 4cc, for a creature type spider. It is a 2/4. It's got a heck of a bank on it. It's also got reach, so it's probably playing some b-ball. And whenever Brood Weaver dies, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Definitely be used in limited. Maybe even some green decks, who knows. Reach is pretty good. Next up, we got Falkenrath Perforator for 1 mana of any color in a mountain, 2cc, for a creature type vampire. This vampire is a 2/1, and when Falkenrath Perforator attacks, it deals 1 damage to defending players. Some more red deck wins type stuff. Next, we've got Suspicious Stowaway for 1 mana of any color and an island, 2cc, for a creature type human rogue werewolf. It is a 1/1, and Suspicious Stowaway can't be blocked. Yikes. And whenever Suspicious Stowaway deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. Also has Daybound, so if a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. The night side reads as unknown, apparently, because I didn't get to it. So we're just going to skip that. Might want to look that up. Might be good. Next up, we've got Stuffed Bear for 2 mana of any color, 2cc, artifact. You can pay 2 mana, and Stuffed Bear becomes a 4/4 green bear artifact creature until end of turn. Maybe I'll throw this in the Bear Force 1 or Bearstein Bears deck once she gets built. If she ever gets built. Next up, we've got Sigarda's Splendor for 2 mana of any color and Plains, 4cc, for an enchantment. As Sigarda's Splendor enters the battlefield, note your life total. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if your life total is greater than or equal to the last noted life total for Sigarda's Splendor. Then note your life total. Whenever you cast a white spell, you gain 1 life. A little bit too many triggers for me personally, but it's pretty unique, I would say. Next up, we have a legendary creature. We've got Lear, Disciple of the Drowned, for 3 mana of any color and island, 5cc, legendary creature human wizard. This wizard is a 3/4, and spells cannot be countered. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard has flashback. The flashback cost is equal to that card's mana cost. This card is absolutely bonkers as a commander. Love it. It's nuts. Nuts. If I ever play a blue deck, it's going to be this lady right here, because spells can't be countered. Say goodbye to competitive Magic. You know what I'm saying? Next up, we've got another legend. We've got Vadric, Astral Archmage, for 1 mana of any color and an island, mountain, 3cc, for a legendary creature human wizard. This wizard is a 1/2, and if it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as Vadric Astral Archmage enters the battlefield. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is Veldric's power, Initially it's 1, and whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, put a +1/+1 counter on Vadric. He's also pretty good too. One of the better, is it type commanders I've seen in a long time. Next up, we've got Sloguk, the Overslime. Looks pretty cool artwork-wise. For 1 mana of any color and a Forest Island, 3 CC, we have a legendary creature, Ooze. He has a 3/3 with Trample, another Ooze commander. This time it incorporates blue. And whenever a land card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter on Slogurk, the Overslime. And remove 3 +1/+1 counters from Slogurk. Return it to its owner's hand, and when Slogurk leaves the battlefield, return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. Pretty cool, man. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. We are reaching 40 minutes. Oh my goodness. Please hold in there, folks. Hold in there. It's going to be a beast to edit. Next up, we've got Moonsilver Key for 2 mana of any color, 2 CC, artifact speed. You pay 1 mana and tap Moonsilver Key and sacrifice Moonsilver Key to search your library for an artifact card with a mana ability or a basic land card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. I guess this will allow you to go get, like, Basalt Monolith or something, so you could do some infinite mana combat loop or something like that. I'm not sure. Or if you just need ramp, I guess. Next up, we've got Skaab Wrangler for 1 mana of any color and an island, 2 CC for a creature type human wizard. This wizard is a 2/1. You can tap 3 untapped creatures you control to tap target creature. That's value right there if I've ever seen value myself. Next, we've got Outland Liberator for 1 mana of any color and a forest 2 CC for a creature type human werewolf. It is a 2/2. You can pay 1 mana of any color and sacrifice Outland Liberator. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Very nice. And it has Daybound, so we've gone over that. And the night side says he is a Frenried Trapbreaker. He's a creature type werewolf. He's a 3/3. You pay 1 mana, sacrifice Frenried Trapbreaker to destroy target artifact or enchantment. And whenever Frenried Trapbreaker attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment, defending player controls. That one's pretty good. And has Nightbound. Yeah. Also, if I haven't said so, I'm really digging this set. I'm guessing it'll probably break the, I'll be able to hopefully potentially beat the box. Unlike the last set, it's looking like there's a lot of heat in this set. Just putting that out there. It looks like a good set overall so far. I mean, I know the whole thing's spoiled, but from what I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Next up, we've got Rem Carlos Stalwart Slayer. We'll just call you the Stalwart Slayer. Slayer of Elephants, I guess. It costs 1 mana of any color and a Mountain Plains, 3 CC for a legendary creature, Human Knight. Human Knight is a 2/3 with flying and haste. If a spell would deal damage to you or another permanent you control, prevent that damage. If a spell would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1 instead. Pretty good Boros commander if you ask me. Next up, we've got Ludovic Necrogenius for 1 mana of the island and swamp variety. 2 CC, legendary creature, human wizard. He is a 2/3, and whenever Ludovic Necrogenius enters the battlefield or attacks, mill a card. You can also pay X mana of any color, 2 islands and 2 swamps, so unknown CC, exile X creature cards from your graveyard, transform Ludovic X can't be 0, activate only as a sorcery. In the night side or transform side of Ludovic is Olag, Ludovic's Hubris. As a legendary creature zombie, he is a 4/4. As this creature transforms into Olag, Ludovic's Hubris, it becomes a copy or a creature card exiled with it, except the name is Olag Ludovic's Hubris. It's a 4/4 and it's a legendary blue and black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Put a number of +1/+1 counters on Olag equal to the number of creature cards exiled with it. I'm a little confused, but it's a little late for me. But he definitely seems good. I don't know of anything that seems like it does the same thing. So definitely a lot of variety, a lot of different things in this set. Also, I'm hoping these are actually in the set, not in the commander decks, because I do plan on spoiling the cards in the commander decks as well. So next up we have Catilda Dawnheart Prime for a Forest Plains 2/CC Legendary Creature Human Warlock. He or she is a 1/1 with protection from werewolves. So here's your anti-werewolf commander. Says human creatures you control have tapped to add 1 mana of any color to this creature's colors. And you can pay 4 mana of any color and a plains forest, so 6 mana in total, and tap this warlock to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That one's not the greatest. Moving along, we have another angel. We've got Sigandian Savior for 3 mana of any color and plains. 5 CC for a creature angel. This angel is a 3/3 with flying, and when Sigandian Savior enters the battlefield, if you cast it, return up to 2 target creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So pretty good. It will not go into my commander deck that is angel themed because there are not very many value 2 or less creatures in the deck. But I do like the artwork. I do like the card in general. It's very cool. Next up, we've got Organ Hoarder for 3 mana of any color and an island 4 CC for a creature type zombie. This zombie is a 3/2. When Organ Hoarder enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Then put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. It's common. What do you want from me? Okay? And that's all I've got for you for tonight. And thank God, because we are at 46 minutes. If you like spoilers and stuff like that, or if you watch my channel, I'd ask you, it'd be great if you would subscribe. I've recently hit about 82 subs. We are going towards 100. After that, 1,000. After that, 10,000. So don't be shy. Subscribe. I do plan on getting back to my regular programming where I upload 2 or 3 times a week. Along with that, I did order a set box of the new Innistrad Midnight Hunt, so as soon as that gets here, I will have a box opening with the prices for that day, along with a new giveaway where you can win booster packs delivered directly to your door for free. But you are going to have to subscribe, so you may as well do it now. So yeah, until we meet again, friends.